Today, I have a dear guest with me, Iryna. We are going to have a discussion around sexual confidence. And today's topic is a very common questions and topic among men, which is, does the size matter? Does your penis size matter? And we're going to have a conversation based on what we have observed while professionally working with many male clients. And we're going to share what's the common thoughts and reflections from them, and what's the challenge we have seen, and some advice or tips how to get started if you really feel that's struggle or difficult question for you in life. Welcome to Intimacy Talk Life.
Thank you. So excited to do this together.
Yes. So first, I want to ask you to briefly introduce yourself. What do you do, and what's your passion in in what you do? Yeah, share with us.
Sure. So we are, by the way, we're colleagues with Jin, and we decided to do this intimacy talks once a week and introduce one topic around sexuality and intimacy and relationship that would be of interest to both of our audiences. So I'm a sex, love, and relationship coach, and I've been helping men and women to find truth through the portal of sexuality. And in the last 5 years, I predominantly was focusing on working with men and helping them to become more embodied, more sexually courageous, so to speak, release any kind of shame around that, and be better lovers to their female partners. And so it's been quite an interesting journey for me to work with men, because I think I've learned so much about men and the pains that men are going through that they don't really talk about with anybody, because, you know, men are supposed to figure out things on their own and supposed to know things from the beginning, and there's not too many spaces for men to actually speak vulnerably about what challenges and issues they're going through. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to support men in that way.
Yeah.
And the topic is very acute as well.
Right. Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yes, totally. I shared a lot of what you observed in your professional work, right? I started working with men and women 3 years ago, and we have crossed our paths many times, right? We studied with many teachers together. When I started working with men till now, I feel I'm humbled and very touched over and over by how deep the emotional world is. Because from the outside, it's not easy to see how deep and how vulnerable. And they are so capable of every emotions we describe as a women in our women's group. The difference is what you just mentioned. In the culture, no matter which country, I'm originally from China. I have been living in the States for 15, 16 years, right? No matter it's in China, US, or other countries I've observed, there are just not many venues for them to share what they feel. And no need to mention that to share the vulnerable feeling they have, and constant question come up. Oh, is my size too small? Right? I'm not large enough. What do I do? Right? All those things. So I'm glad today we have this conversation together.
Yeah. It's quite an edgy one and quite sensitive. Once I created a Facebook Live, and it's actually now posted on my YouTube channel, a video. This particular topic, does size matter? Sharing my personal experience and sharing what I've learned through working with men. And I've received, to be honest, a lot of comments, both good and a lot of jaded comments, like calling me names and a liar, and that I'm trying to stroke a man's ego, saying that actually all sizes are good, and
right,
all sizes matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is a very delicate topic for men because
Mhm.
of the societal norms that we have and the culture we live in, and the pressure that men feel to perform and be good lovers and know all the skills and the techniques. And there's no such pressure for women ever. And it's actually with something that came up in my men's group, this particular topic as well. And I asked men, what are you feeling when a woman makes a comment about the size? Because a lot of women, there is a belief in our heads, in both men and women, or a stigma that, and it probably comes from pornography and again, the way of society, that the bigger it is, the more, there's more passion and satisfaction. And when the guy is on a smaller size, there's a feeling of inadequacy that they experience, and lots of, yeah, like they feel small and deemed, and they get very like in the shell, and the whole demeanor, the actual demeanor of them as a person is reflected that way. But yeah.
Well, first I want to read a comment here. So it says, oh, not true, and that's not me. I very much prefer a smaller penis, and I can feel way more sensation. More love works. Yes, thank you. And I remember a comment under our post to this live is, all sizes are good sizes. What I have seen is this is part of body shaming, and for women, we have that flavor as well, right? Remember, when I grew up, when I was a teenager, I was very sensitive to my chest, the size on my chest, right? In my mind, it needs to be not too big because it will draw too much attention, right? Not too small, otherwise I feel inadequate, right? The best, the best I was dreaming, like I just want to have the perfect size, not too big, not too small, and round, and just perfect. As if we can only find those size. Actually, we only see those examples from magazines, right? Not too often in real person, right? And that's part of body shaming that has been with me for years. Always worry about, oh, do I have the right size, right? And in my mind, I have no way like I'm thinking about, oh, go for a surgery or anything. I just, oh, please, God, give me something which I can be proud of, right? So when I work with my male clients, I've seen this thing is, oh my gosh, this is part of body shaming, to be honest. And it's accumulated result from porn and pop culture media. For women, the chest is out there, and for penis, it's not quite out there, but unlike vagina, you can kind of see the size, definitely, right? And I just feel like the deep resonance with that, right?
Yeah.
Constantly asking myself, what is perfect? What is good? And majority of the information is coming from porn and pop culture media. As most of us know, that is not a proper sex education by no means. It can be a spice to give us some flavors from time to time, but by no means it's a proper sex education.
Yeah. And because we all are super conditioned and have so much taboo around sex in general, there is ingrained belief in the men's heads, and there is always, no matter what size he is, there's always the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And what I also noticed, men are very susceptible to women's opinions about them.
Mm-hmm.
And the more a woman will, share that, not in a very delicate way, like in that comment that a man in my men's group shared.
Yep.
A woman mentioned to her boyfriend that his penis is boyfriend-like penis. what, and he's like, what does it even mean? She said, well, it's good for long term, but lacking when you want to have a one night stand.
Okay.
And he actually got like offended, and he didn't feel good about this. And so to me, it was like, well, she probably, if she's in a relationship with him, she probably should not have mentioned that, and could have been more delicate. But also maybe he had prior years of rejection, or maybe he already knows, maybe he had been shamed for his size. He kind of took it badly and felt as inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's self-confidence thing for men, it's a self-love thing for men. And how can men generate more of this to themselves without having been dependent on the opinion of women, which is maybe too much to ask. Because men are men, and they're so in our culture, and even physiologically, biologically, if you notice, like, men is supposed to be doing and performing and being, and it's celebrated in our culture when a man has lots of experiences as women, then he's a good lover. But when a woman has lots of experiences with men, she may be considered a slut. So, you know, we value virgins and we value men who sleep with a lot of women, which is the way our society is created. And that's something to think about, whether that should be this way.
A lot of social conditionings, I hear you just mentioned, you touched on a few, right? Social conditionings. I feel it's really important that to provide the context, how men since young age formed that opinion, right? That feels like, oh, maybe I'm on the smaller side, or I'm not large enough, right? Based on global study shows the average size for a adult male penis is 4.5 to 6 inch, right? Mm-hmm. And that's average for adult male, right? As in most of the case, even people thinking about they're on the smaller side, it's in that range. Mm-hmm. It's in that range. But what happened was I have known, just as a matter of fact, is that not many occasions for male to really see that with other peers, right? Mm-hmm. Especially not see that in under an erected condition, right? So it's very hard to have some other examples outside of porn. But as we know, for porn stars, it's a very, very highly selected group. They were selected to perform. So porn is not an example to have, long-lasting intimacy, a wonderful relationship, right? And how is that related to how to be a great lover? And the size of your penis is part of that. It's just a small part of it. And this is a part, like, seriously, it's hard to change, right? But that's one part. Based on the exaggerated media and the film, the broadcast, it seems like that's the number one thing, if not the only thing. Basically, when people really feel, I can feel the pain or struggle when my client or, I heard from men like, oh my gosh, like I'm doomed because this is not something I can change, but this really bothers me, right? What I see from their thinking is, oh, feels like that's the number one thing, or maybe even the only thing matters to be a great lover and to create a wonderful relationship. So that's where I see, like, wow, no wonder. That's where the suffering is from. Because the size of the penis equals to the quality of intimacy in a relationship. No wonder we feel doomed. If I'm a guy, I feel doomed too, with that thinking.
Yeah. So I have a question to that. What do you then suggest or recommend for men to be or do? Like, what is the method you suggest?
Yeah. So this is a general information for each individuals. I will, guide them through different body and mind connecting exercise. But for general information, um, first I will present some of the status, the fact, right? That to see like get out of the box which you are in right now, because the bigger you can, the more you can see the bigger picture, the bigger context, the less you feel personal about this is just me, right? So that's the first thing. And very importantly, I will ask them that, okay, I really, really know that you think size is very important. I got it, right? Let me ask you, what is more important than size in order to be a good lover and great lover?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is more important? They probably will have some thoughts there, and then I will work with them, brainstorm what is more important, and based on fact. It's not based on my, imagination, right? For example, well, the fact is the nerve ending at the entrance of vagina, right, has very rich nerve endings for arousal and pleasure in the entrance of 1 to 3 inch,
Mm-hmm.
right? That area is a high arousal zone for I would say majority of the women, if not all, right? So there are always some special cases. So I'm talking in general, right? Just imagine in the first 1 to 3 inch, that's where the highly arousal and nerve rich area.
So you are going to sort of like
Actually,
help men to go beyond the social conditioning, that
yes.
limited thinking that, which is limited by porn and pop culture and whatever, and locker room comparisons,
Yes.
and and introduce them to a more wider, broader spectrum of like, well, the sex education that is actually based on facts and statistics and is true, and that we do women, the majority of women who are actually not conditioned themselves that they need a big dick to be satisfied, prefer a smaller size penis. I personally am on that, in that spectrum of women myself.
Mhm.
And yeah, I love this. This is great.
Yeah. 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 Thanks for your adding that. So basically, coming from different angles, right? So not just by thinking differently, because it's easy to say that than doing that, right? Just thinking different. No, no, no. Okay. So there are some rewiring your stories and educate yourself with more fact, right? Fact outside of pop culture media and also fact of female arousal,
Yeah.
right? Well, because, so this is which part always amazed me, right? When I heard like, oh, I feel my sexual confidence, it's uh, highly related to the size of a penis, right? And so then I ask, like, okay, so what do you really want for your partner? Or, I mean, along our talk, we're only target, heterosexual couples, right? But, but that doesn't exclude any other relationship. So just use a heterosexual relationship as example. So what do you want for your women, right? What do you want for the relationship? I understand you feel size matters. So often I heard is, I want to make her happy,
Mhm.
right? I really want to make her happy. I said,
Wow, and
great,
do you know what makes her happy? Is the size?
exactly, exactly. So I really help them to see that the gap and disconnection between what struggles they have in their mind, in their thinking mind, versus what they really want to reach, what they really want to achieve, right? And I said, the good news is there are so many other factors to be considered to be a good lover, to reach your goal that make your partner happy.
Yeah.
And that's from the physical perspective, from female pleasure, the arousal perspective, and also uh, like communication, like so many other ways, right? If you ask a group of female, and we know this because we have a big, fair amount of big group of female practitioners, right? We will exchange ideas, right?
Yeah.
what really matter, right? So now I'm going to give your answer. What's the top three for me? But I want to first ask you what top three things matter for you, like you consider as a great lover. Give myself a break, so I need a water. Yeah.
The top three things. Well, I think the way, and then the way how he knows how to establish um, connection, and initiate that, take leadership, and actually um, create safety for me emotionally. So I can share um, what I desire in intimacy, what turns me on. And if I don't feel that man is, because I'm a sex coach and I'm pretty open-minded, or consider myself pretty open-minded,
Yeah.
I more often than not spark up that conversation. But I remember in the past, if I feel that men are more, shy in that way, or myself, I would be shy. Like I would never talk about it, and then we have no idea what are we even doing with our bodies, right? So emotional safety is probably going to be the first one, where I'm like, feeling like I can share whatever I want, and it will be received.
Mm-hmm.
So the second one is that he is open to my feedback, because he every woman is different, and we all have our pleasure points and what we enjoy and how we orgasm. It's all different for everybody. So if he starts doing the same thing as he did to his other partners, and I don't necessarily like it, and I wouldn't be the one tolerating it, I would share my feedback. And if he's drops down his ego and be like, yeah, give me your feedback, that curiosity, because through feedback from other women, he will learn, become even better lover,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I guess it's very connected, emotional safety and my feedback, that I can give feedback to him. And the third one, um, I think because I am energetically sensitive, I would want that to be considered, that the foreplay is very important to me, the kissing, the eye gazing, the just like the teasing game is so important to me, the charming conversations, the flirt, all of it, before the actual penetration thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be my three things. Great question.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. I, I love to hear people's, top three or even top two, what matters to them, right? So in intimacy, right? And really, what
What
enrich
is it
my
for you?
I will share with you now. First is presence, right? If his body and mind are here, right? Oftentimes people are I found they're
Oh,
physically
that's a good one.
available,
Good one. Mm-hmm.
but mind are not. Right? They may thinking about, oh, what I need to do for my tomorrow's meeting, right? I have taxes overdue or whatever, right? So it depends on the day. There's something in their mind,
Nice.
and you can tell without talking, because even through eye contact, we can tell if the person's mind is here.
Presence is everything. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the number one thing. Second, I have something the same as yours is emotional safety.
Yeah.
Like I can be unapologetically to be myself, right? And go with the flow and no performing. I really show up as who I am and encourage my partner show up as who he is as well, right? So together, and we can co-create that secret space together. for us to show up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one is touch, right? Touch. I am, I can talk about touch and how can you get pleasure from touch, like in an hour or even longer. But touch is very important to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm here
Giving
to
a
touch.
massage prior to doing anything is
Yes,
like is your thing.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I would say with that three things, if all checked, I probably have been in high arousal or orgasmic state already, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's really deep intimacy.
Yeah.
And anything on top of it, it's a cherry on
Would
top.
size matter? In that case? Probably not.
Well, my attention and my sensations will be so, I would say, saturated. And so I enjoy that so much with all the things if all the three things are there, right? I
Yeah.
enjoy it so much. I won't even have extra room to think in my mind to worry, like, oh, does the size matter? You know?
Yeah. And if that is like these three things for you or for me are taken care of, like ticked right by a man, he sees your response. He's like, oh wow, like he immediately has a feedback, a bodily feedback, and his confidence grows in the moment.
Right.
Right? And that is like, this is really important. Like, collect evidence of that, man, whoever men are listening.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
and in time, if you have some, like, devil in the head talking to you, size matters, it will start to diminish. I think. I mean, that's my opinion, because there's such a huge array of other things that you can satisfy a woman. Yeah. Somebody actually commented, go to a swingers club and pay attention to what the men are packing.
Okay.
What does that mean? I don't quite understand that, but okay. Um, um, Another question to that, because not a lot of women are like us, we're like not sex coaches. Um, how can, um, my question is, how can men, um, perhaps, regardless of the comments of women,
Hmm.
and regardless of their belief system, which may be pornographically trained as well, how can they work on themselves personally to um, to get that confidence with their size?
Yeah. So I will use the framework I do in coaching to just approach that, touch base on that. So I, I always see there's three most important factors to create better intimacy and confidence, right? Anywhere in life, but especially in the since I focus on the intimacy and confidence coaching in the intimacy area, is first is the body wisdom. Body wisdom that can means like better use different learn different practices to better connect with your sexual energy by breathing, by sounding, by movement, so that you don't just positively thinking about, oh, I need to change how I think, but your body feels a lot more power, either in by yourself, your self pleasure, or with a partner. And I can tell you this is a huge difference when people consistently practicing, use those modalities to connect with their sexual energy. They do feel different. They don't have to think differently. They really do feel differently. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can feel like so much arousal and orgasm and so much energy is coming from the body, from the
yeah.
presence, and from the penis, right? Because that's part of our body. We cannot just separate them from our whole body, right? So
Mhm.
that's the first part. And the second part is mindset, intellectually educate ourselves with more fact-based,
Yeah,
uh, you
more
know,
evidence.
data. right? I just mentioned, right? What's the female arousal? What's male? What's the average penis size, right? And they are different sizes and shapes, like women's
Yeah,
chest, right?
right.
So that's a
Just like
fact.
I wanna interrupt you here. I think it's in some study or in this tradition called Kudashka, they
Mm-hmm.
have 7 different sizes of vaginas and 7 different sizes of penises,
Correct. Yeah.
and they all can match. You know, there's like they all can be plugged in into one another and be like a perfect match. So just to
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of holistic and conscious sexuality content to broad our understanding on, female arousal and male arousal and the sexuality, right, area. And the third piece is a skill, erotic skills that will directly link to, what other things matters more than the size of penis in order to please your partner, in order to be a great lover, right? And that part can be learned, can be practiced. We can educate ourselves, right? Any size, man with any size of penis can learn how to be a great lover without counting on the size, because unless people considering going through surgery, I don't think many people will, right? So that's
That's
not
a
something,
trauma right there. Oh,
something
no.
people can change. But guess what? There's so many other things you
Yeah.
can do and change and practice in order to be a great lover.
Yeah,
Right?
like I love this. I love the body wisdom, the movement of energy, and the educational piece on, collecting more data and more stats and more evidence. And the last one was
Erotic skills.
the
Yeah.
erotic skills. And yeah, and all that prevents for men to actually do these 3 things or learn these 3 things is the mindset. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already small. I'm already it. Like
Right. Yeah.
I had a few men who connected with me, like who didn't they didn't become my clients, but the conversation was like I feel deep shame and he some of them actually make a kink out of it and get off on it and like I mean you can go so many ways around it, but does it really actually satisfy you, fulfill you, and like in the deep
Mhm.
sense of this word 100%?
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, that's I would say like how to rewire that um, conditioned belief, right? I know that's really not just any single person's fault or not even fault, and not it's not a single person's conditioning. It is really the society and the culture accumulated, right? Media accumulated conditioning, right? But when we can equip ourselves, when a man can equip themselves from the body connection, from the mindset, the know better, have proper sex education, plus equip themselves with erotic skills to really to be a better lover. It feels like, oh, the size, the only thing I cannot change is really just a small factor. But I have so many other toolkit, and I know I'm confident I'm a great lover. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, so this is great. I love it.
do you have anything to add? We are almost coming to the end of our chat today. Do you have anything to add?
um, well, does size matter? Actually, no. And I think all sizes matter and they all great and they all are a gift. I mean, like if you were born the way you were born with that body, it's a gift. Consider it such. And I also think that through self pleasure practice, through like conscious masturbation that a man could do, sending love to that part of the body. And again, in addition to what you said, those 3 skills, three things, um, self
Three
pleasure,
pillars. Yeah.
spending time with yourself, consciously sending love to your penis, considering it as a gift, as like as a sacred wand you were born with, you'll get out of this rat of feeling inadequate and feeling like, all women are like, no, you are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the penis is awesome. And when you make love with your whole entire being, not just with penis itself. So yeah, we have maybe some men here in this chat would love to ask any
Any
questions.
questions? Yeah, we probably have another 5 minutes. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, give us some questions. So we want to hear from you, gentlemen. What's your take on this topic, on this?
Yeah, I saw the heart emoji keep popping up, so that's great. But if there are any questions you want to ask right now, or
Yeah.
if you watch replay, feel free to drop your questions or comments in the comments section, and we'll read it.
Yeah. We're just gonna normalize the sizes with these conversations and sex educations. And if any of you feel like wanting to know more and maybe having conversations with either myself or Jen, please, check out our social media, profiles and join. So there's a question: ever had a guy to be too big? Yeah, we can.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear.
What if a guy, or there's a question, ever had a guy be too big?
Okay.
It's actually another challenge. Not only the smallness, but also like if the guy is too big, that's another thing that a man cannot. What I hear from men who I worked with who had this, they cannot really show up in their full power because there's always like treading lightly and be very careful and hearing a woman's feedback that it's painful for her. So it's usually is again could be a challenge for a lot of men, but same things apply what we talked about. Other skills, erotic skills. What's the mindset behind it? How else can you bring pleasure to a woman?
Yeah.
I think you froze for a second.
You too on my side, but now I can see you. Okay. Yeah.
So to the other side, to the bigger size, I could say the same things apply. Same, body wisdom. How can you learn to experience pleasure and give pleasure through all these energy techniques and knowing the erotic techniques and having the mindset.
Yeah.
The question here from someone else: what is the main benefit from semen retention?
That can be another topic.
It can be another topic.
After intimate talk life. And
my God, there's so many. There's so many.
Yeah.
But that definitely something that I highly, highly focused my coaching with men on. I don't call it semen retention. I call it rather ejaculatory choice.
Yeah.
That's a better term I use. But the main benefit, you're more attractive to women.
Yes. And I will add to that is when people practice semen retention, right, with good guidance, right? And good guidance is I don't think anybody, I've heard people just go all in a cold turkey way. That's not recommended. Okay, gradual, slowly but surely. Okay, so another benefit I will add is you get more energy for yourself. And
Yay.
you
What's
can
that?
use that energy for anything, for more creation, for more work, or for more connection with your partner, anything. Because sexual energy, life force are connected, right?
Yeah.
So we're coming to the top of the hour. So let me, I would say, wrap it up by saying that I really, if there's one thing I want to leave the audience with is all sizes are good sizes. What really matters is a whole package. Please don't ever isolate your size from your body because that's just part. It's an important part. I totally acknowledge that's one part of your body. And that's one part that you bring to your relationship, to your intimacy, to your sex life. One part, right?
Yeah.
Always, always ask yourself, does it, what matters for me and my partner to create a deep intimacy, a meaningful intimacy and good sex?
I
Right.
love it. So good.
Anything to leave us with today from you?
Oh, well, I think I've already shared
Okay.
same, same, pretty much same, just in different words. And what I wanted to add that if you like this, if you enjoyed this conversation, this little piece of intimacy talk that me and Jen have provided for you here, and that's what we started with this topic. Please follow both of us. Uh, Ask questions. And next Thursday, we're planning on doing it every Thursday. It was a different topic, and we're going to announce the topic on Monday or Tuesday for you to prepare yourself if you want to join. And yeah, just feel free to ask questions and educate yourself.
Yeah. All right. Lovely. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone who is still here and whoever is watching the replay. Please leave a comment and let us know what's your takeaway and what do you want to hear more from us. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.